ElectraCast.
Welcome to the Congressional Record Daily Digest, where we bring you all the previous day's U.S. legislative proceedings in 4 minutes or less. In today's episode, we bring you the Congressional Record for June 16th, 2026.
The Senate introduced 14 bills addressing a variety of national and international issues. Among its most notable actions, the Senate passed a resolution condemning Chinese President Xi Jinping for actions that lawmakers said undermine peace and security and contribute to crimes against humanity. This measure primarily affects U.S.-China relations, human rights advocacy efforts, and ongoing foreign policy discussions. The Senate also approved the use of Emancipation Hall in the Capitol Visitor Center for a ceremony dedicating the semi-quincentennial congressional time capsule as part of preparations for the nation's 250th anniversary celebrations. This action impacts Congress, historians, and organizations involved in commemorating America's founding. On immigration policy, the Senate voted against advancing legislation that would have overturned a federal rule governing appellate procedures for the Board of Immigration Appeals. Because the measure failed, current immigration appeals procedures remain in place, affecting immigrants, immigration attorneys, and federal immigration courts. The Senate also rejected an effort to advance legislation requiring the removal of United States armed forces from hostilities involving Iran that have not been specifically authorized by Congress. The outcome preserves existing authorities and affects military personnel, defense officials, and policymakers involved in national security and foreign affairs. Housing policy received significant attention as the Senate began consideration of the 21st Century Road to Housing Act, legislation intended to increase the nation's housing supply. Senators adopted a motion to proceed by a vote of 87-8 and continued debate on several amendments. The legislation could ultimately affect homebuyers, renters, developers, and communities facing housing shortages across the country. In committee activity, the Senate Armed Services Committee examined Army modernization plans and future defense priorities for fiscal year 2027. The Health, Education, Labor, and Pensions Committee held a hearing on the growing role of artificial intelligence in kindergarten through 12th grade education, discussing how schools can prepare students for a rapidly changing workforce. The Budget Committee reviewed the nomination of Hal Duncan to serve as Deputy Director of the Office of Management and Budget, while the Intelligence Committee received classified briefings on national security matters. The Senate also prepared for upcoming votes on the nomination of Michelle Steele to serve as Ambassador to the Republic of Korea and appointed Senator Mike Rounds to the Board of Visitors of the United States Air Force Academy. The House of Representatives was not in session and therefore introduced no legislation, held no hearings, conducted no committee meetings, and took no votes. The House is scheduled to return in a pro forma session on June 18th. Overall, the day's congressional activity focused on foreign policy, immigration, military authority, housing affordability, education technology, defense modernization, and key executive branch nominations. Those were the key activities of June 16, 2026 in the U.S. Congress.
Subscribe to receive daily or rate and review so others can find us as well. Thanks for tuning in to the Congressional Record Daily Digest. This has been an ElectraCast media production. Executive producers are Mark Netter and Peter Rafelson. Music by Peter Rafelson. Produced and edited by Nicholas Mrla.
ElectraCast.